Competitive catfishing teams in the country descended on St. Charles Parish to take part in the King Cat Catfishing Tournament. This was the first time King Cat's tournament has come to the river parishes. Through a partnership with the parish's Office of Economic Development and the River Parishes Tourist Commission, it was also the first time many of these anglers have put their lines in our waters. Their initial experience in the catfish capital of the universe was wildly successful.
There's a lot of people that say we're the catfish capital of the state, or we're the catfish capital of the United States. We've never heard catfish capital of the universe. And I said, that's pretty, you gotta be pretty, you gotta have a pretty good strong backbone to come up with those words. Right now, nowhere else can I say that we could see what we've seen this week in the
Good evening and welcome to the St. Charles Parish Council meeting on Monday, December 4th, 2023 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers in the parish courthouse. Please silence all electronic devices and remove all hats. This meeting is called to order with prayer and a pledge of allegiance from Pastor D.B. Molaire with the Good Hope Missionary Baptist Church in Norco.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. O Lord our God, how excellent is thy name in all the earth. We call for your presence tonight in this parish council meeting. We pray for our president and this parish council. We pray for our district attorney and that office. We pray for the 29th judicial part of this parish, the judges. We pray for the sheriff and his department and deputies. We pray, dear God, for the Council on Aging, Clerk of Court, voter registration, tax assessor, our school board, our state representative, and Senate. We pray for the St. Charles Hospital. And dear God, we also pray for the houses of worship that have been here for many years to serve your people. Now, Lord, thank you. If any names have been omitted, it was not deliberate. But yet still in all, dear God, we want to thank you. Bless this service tonight. The reason why we said is service because we invited the Lord in. Now have your own way, and we pray that all things will be done decently in order in this meeting, and bless the citizens of St. Charles Parish. And at the end, we'll be most careful to give your name the praise, the honor, and the glory. The songwriter and hymn that say, as well as the scripture, joy to the world, the Lord has come, and Jesus is the reason for this season. This is our prayer in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And everyone under the sound of my voice said amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend Molaire. Okay, approval of minutes. A motion and a second is needed to approve the minutes from the regular meeting of November 20th, 2023. A motion by Ms. Fonseca and a second by Ms. Gordon. Please cast your votes. That passes unanimously with Councilman Dufresne and Gibbs absent this evening. Special business proclamation and canvass returns, etc. Item number 2023-0329, in recognition, Colby Allen Torres, Eagle Scout. Mr. Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Parish of St. Charles, December 4th, 2023, in recognition, whereas Colby Allen Torres is a resident of St. John the Baptist Parish, residing in Reserve, Louisiana, with his parents Kirk and Kathy, his sister Robin, and his brother Kyle. And whereas Colby is a member of Troop 317, chartered by the Southeast Louisiana Council of Boy Scouts of America in Destrehan, he started his scouting career October 2017. And whereas Colby has spent the last 6 years as an active member of the Scouts, spending the last 5 years preparing to become an Eagle Scout. And whereas Colby has earned his 36 merit badges from a list of 137 badges and completed his Eagle Scout service project by building wood dock boxes for the spillway in St. Charles Parish. And whereas Colby has earned these 36 merit badges by showing his leadership ability as Assistant Senior Patrol Leader, Quartermaster, and Patrol Leader. And whereas Colby rose to the rank of Eagle Scout on June 15, 2022, and received his medal in the ceremony on August 6, 2022, at the St. Charles United Methodist Church in Destrehan. And whereas Colby is a sophomore at Archbishop Rummel High School and will continue to grow as an Eagle Scout by providing leadership for Troop 317. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby offer this tribute in recognition to Colby Allen Torres. And I believe Colby's in the audience tonight. Could you come up, please?
Thank you.
Thank you, Colby. Thank you, Mr. Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Item number 2023-0330, in recognition, Kyle Anthony Torres, Eagle Scout. Mr. Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Parish of St. Charles, December 4th, 2023, in recognition, whereas Kyle Anthony Torres is a resident of St. John the Baptist Parish, residing in Reserve, Louisiana, with his parents Kirk and Kathy, his sister Robin, and his brother Colby. And whereas Kyle is a member of Troop 317, chartered by the Southeast Louisiana Council, Boy Scouts of America, in Destrehan. He started his scouting career October 2017, and whereas Kyle has spent the last 6 years as an active member of the Scouts, spending the last 5 years preparing to become an Eagle Scout. And whereas Kyle has earned his 36 merit badges from a list of 137 merit badges and completed his Eagle Scout service project by building wood duck boxes for the spillway in St. Charles Parish. And whereas Kyle has earned these 36 merit badges by showing leadership ability as an Assistant Senior Patrol Leader, Quartermaster, Assistant Patrol Leader. And whereas Kyle rose to the rank of Eagle Scout on June 15, 2022, and received his medal in the ceremony on August 6, 2022, at the St. Charles United Methodist Church in Destrehan. And whereas Kyle is a sophomore at Archbishop Rummel High School and will continue to grow as an Eagle Scout by providing leadership for Troop 317. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby offer this tribute and recognition to Kyle Anthony Torres. And I believe Kyle's in the audience tonight. Could you step up?
Thank you, Mr. Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Item number 2023-0331, in recognition, William Warren Degenhardt, Jr., Eagle Scout. Ms. Fonseca.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In recognition, whereas William Warren Degenhardt Jr. is a resident of St. Charles Parish, residing in Luling, Louisiana, with his parents Will and Karen and brothers Alex and Jackson, and whereas William is a member of Troop 317 chartered by the Southeast Louisiana Council Boy Scouts of America in Destrehan, he started his scouting career in 2017. And whereas William has spent the last 7 years as an active member of the Scouts preparing to become an Eagle Scout, and whereas William has earned his 36 merit badges from a list of 137 badges and completed his Eagle Scout service project by building a chicken coop for the St. Charles Parish Animal Shelter. And whereas William earned these 36 merit badges by showing leadership ability as a senior patrol leader, troop guide, and den chief, and whereas William rose to the rank of Eagle Scout on February 27, 2023, and received his medal in a ceremony on August 4, 2023, at the Grand Ridge Country Club in Luling. And whereas William is a junior at Jesuit High School and will continue to grow as an Eagle Scout by providing leadership as an Order of the Arrow Unit representative for Troop 317. Now, therefore, be it resolved, we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby offer this tribute and recognition to William Warren Degenhardt, Jr. And I believe William's here to accept.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fonseca. Item number 2023-0332, proclamation, Christmas celebration. Ms. Cluley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Proclamation, whereas we are now entering the Christmas season, a time in which generations of Christians have celebrated the birth of Jesus Christ in the holy city of Bethlehem. And whereas through this season we pride ourselves in a renewed spirit of peace, love, and hope in communities throughout the world. And whereas we celebrate with symbols such as the Christmas tree and honor St. Nicholas, the patron saint of children, known as Santa Claus. And whereas there's no better way to begin our Christmas season than with a Christmas tree lighting and community caroling celebration. And whereas the St. Charles Parish Rotary Club is planning a Christmas tree lighting and Christmas caroling celebration with a visit from Santa Claus. Now therefore be it resolved, we the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President do hereby declare Wednesday, December 6, 2023 to be an evening of Christmas celebration in St. Charles Parish. Be it further resolved, the public is invited to attend the celebration of the Christmas season on Wednesday, December 6, 2023, 5:30 p.m. at the Edward A. Dufresne Community Center, 274 Judge Edward Dufresne Parkway, Luling. And Randy Mathern, our Rotary President, is here to accept. And I'd also like to thank the Parish Administration and the Rec Department for their continued support in our school systems, for the schools that participate in the caroling. Years ago, this started as just a simple Christmas tree lighting at the West Bank Bridge Park, and now it's grown into a much bigger event. And hopefully this will continue for many years. And now we also have a new Christmas celebration, the lighting of the Oaks, which was this last Saturday. And I think that hopefully that will also continue as an annual event. So, picture all the Rotary members here, please. Now Luz has come in. And Heather.
Oh, you said this.
Yeah, I'll get next one.
Makes me look so much taller. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, y'all got one chin for more.
Right.
On behalf of the St. Charles Parish Rotary Club, I'd like to thank the parish council members, President Matt Jewell, for the continued support of the Christmas tree lighting. It also showcased some local talent that we hope to have some singing and some dancing by the Cajun dancers. And we'll have a little visit from Santa Claus, and y'all all come out and pass a good time on this Wednesday on the 6th. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Mathern, and thank you, Ms. Cluley. Item number 2023-0333, proclamation, the Toy and Gift Fund Week. President Jewell.
Proclamation, whereas many individuals in the community would like to share their material and monetary blessings with other individuals, and whereas through the years, many individuals, organizations, and agencies have assisted families in St. Charles Parish by means of a toy and gift fund. And whereas the St. Charles Parish Council and the parish president recognize this fund every year as a worthwhile community service. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the parish president, do hereby proclaim the week of December 11th through the 16th, 2023 as Toy and Gift Fund Week in St. Charles Parish. And here to accept is Miss Jeannie Araby. She will give us a little bit more information about the event.
Good evening. The toy and gift is going to be the 16th, and it's going to be from 9 to 1. It's open to every child in the parish. We didn't set East Bank, West Bank times. We figured it was confusing and all that, so it's open. We're expecting over 30,000 toys, so hopefully we'll have every child to come this year. We have Valero's helping us with feeding them food, and we got different activities. We got surprises that's going to show up there to welcome them in the door, and Santa is going to be there. So I hope all y'all can pass and stop by and join the fun.
Thank you, Ms. Araby. Okay, on to reports, finance, and administrative activities. Item number 2023-0334, contract monitor. Mr. Berto. Hello.
Good evening. To give you a quick brief on what some of the things that we've done this past year. These are the main contracts that we monitor, along with some smaller ones, but these are the main ones. River Birch Renewable Energy, the garbage company, they service about 37,000 carts a week. Less than a 1% complaint rate throughout the parish over the last 8 months. That's what I can track. We've worked with them, coming up with better ways to report so we can hold them more accountable, and dates and guidelines set from the past to make sure they're following and doing what they're supposed to be doing. We also conducted an internal audit and found a lot of wasted assets. So we're gaining on average about $10,000 per year, and that's going up the more that we follow through with it. Road lighting. We completed the street light audit, fixed over 700 lights. That's about 10% of the lights that we have in the parish. We closed out a bunch of delinquent invoices from Hurricane Ida this year. We started work on the high mast lights. That's still ongoing. We're waiting. We have to coordinate with Ohio to get the people down here to finish the repairs. Same thing, we came up with a new tracking system for the road lighting contracts to where instead of just paying for every light that's out, there's actually warranty work that can be done, and we're saving over $1,000 a month from that alone. Same thing with energy. We came up with a new way to track them, to hold them accountable. As in the past, it was just, hey, fix the light, and then we're at their mercy. Now I have a way to track it in dates, so it's getting done a lot faster. everybody's favorite one, the mosquitoes. I mean, they're meeting the contract. They're required to spray aerial 30,000 kilometers a year and drive over 300,000, and they're well over that now. And this is based off October. I haven't gotten the November's report yet. So all the requirements are being met by them. And I just talked to their operations manager yesterday, and they're spraying more this year than they have any other year in the past 15 years. So they're doing what they're supposed to do. It's just not working that way. Emergency store debris and removal. Thankfully, we haven't had to do anything with that this year so far, but everything is all prepped and ready, and we're in constant communication with them, so that way if something does happen, we can start within the 36 hours required. Any other questions from me?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, so do others. Let them go first. Ms. Fonseca.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Eric, I'd just like to thank you for the job that you've done since you came on board. It's been about 8 months.
Yes, today.
But I appreciate it. You've been very responsive every time I've had an issue that I brought to you, and not only in hearing out that issue and researching it, but getting back with me.
Yes, ma'am.
And letting me know how it was resolved. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Cormier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Welcome aboard. I don't know that we've formally met, but we've had some communication, and just as Ms. Fonseca said, you've been very receptive and responsive. Being that a lot of the new council member elects are here, I think it's a really good thing for them to hear exactly what you're responsible for. You're actually a very important person in this parish for a lot of the residents, and I think that goes unnoticed sometimes. But if you can touch on maybe the lighting. So the road lighting, there are a few different entities that are responsible for road lighting, depending on if it's a certain subdivision or if it's a state road or if it's if it's the I-310, for example. Can you maybe give a breakdown of what we can be responsible for as a parish to repair, and then how maybe you can help if it's not something the parish would repair? What could you do?
So the two basic ones we have D&G, that's the contract, that's the metal light poles. I could get those fixed way faster than I can with wooden light poles. Those are energy owned. Now, we still pay for it through our account, but like I said, we're kind of at their mercy because I don't have any leverage on them other than fix the light, please, and then.
So
push
metal
it a
light
little
poles
bit.
are owned by Entergy?
No, wooden light poles. Metal light poles are
Wooden
owned by
light
us, and we actually have a contract, and they're regulated by contract to have them fixed within 7 days. Sometimes that's not going to happen, depending on like the issue with Ormond Boulevard right now. There was over 40 lights out in a row, and we've gotten more than half of those fixed already, but there's an issue with energy with that. So when it comes to the interstate portions, I'm still learning that part. I know that our contractors are replacing the lights coming from 310 up to the bridge, but when it gets to I-10, I just got asked this question today, so I do have to do some research on it. I'm not sure if that's a DOTD thing or if it's a contract part. I know it's not energy, though.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know sometimes, we have lights out on 310, and sometimes we've gotten different answers. So this is something that at least you can help guide if you
I know,
can't
like
do
the
it
Luling
directly.
Bridge, we do fix those.
Yeah.
I'm not fixing them yet because the
Right.
construction, I can't shut
For sure.
another lane down.
Okay.
But
Oh, he said he's going to shut a lane down, y'all. No. Okay, that's helpful, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Ms. Belloc.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Eric, do you wash the trash cans for residents or
No, ma'am.
elderly? No?
No, ma'am.
Because for some reason, I've had 2 residents ask me about getting their trash cans washed, that they saw us come out and wash the
It's
trash
not
cans.
us. There is a private company that'll come out and clean your trash cans for you.
Oh,
We
so
don't
they saw a
offer that.
different company. Okay.
It looks the same. It's like a green truck. So
Okay.
it's definitely not us.
All righty, thank you so much.
Okay.
And you're right, the mosquitoes are ridiculous. Yeah, thank you.
President Jewell.
I just want to say thanks, Eric. Congratulations on 8 months with the parish. And, one of the things I told you when we brought you on was that you, like Julie said, you're one of the most important people in the parish because you touch so many people directly with streetlights and mosquitoes and garbage collection, all the things that are very important to a lot of our residents. And so thanks for doing such a great job and putting your military experience to work in a different light, in a different way. But you've been tremendous with the logistics of that job. So thanks for everything you do.
Thank you.
So we have a new website for self-reporting. Can you walk us through the process so that residents know when they report that, will they hear back from you?
We respond
You
to each
respond,
one.
so they will
Yes, ma'am.
have that in their mailbox?
I personally handle mosquitoes and street lighting, and my assistant, she responds to all the River Birch issues. So they
Okay.
they get an email verification that at least, at a minimum, we've received their issue or their report, and with an estimated time frame for correction or.
Good. So can they respond to that email?
Yes,
or-
ma'am, because it's,
okay,
yeah,
they can
it
go
comes
back to
straight, we reply from our email, not from the system. So it's Eric Berto shows up on their email, so,
Good. Good. All right, thank you very much.
yes, ma'am.
Is there any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 2023-0335, Parish President's Remarks and Report. President Jewell.
Hey, Chairwoman. Real quick, I'll start with an update on Lakewood Boulevard. Traffic will not be able to enter or exit Lakewood Drive at Highway 90. And that's going to be happening on Wednesday. The contractor is going to be switching over to continue the progress on Lakewood Drive. So we're trying to communicate out to all of our residents in that area or who use that area for work. We've been in touch with the school system as well. So the northbound lanes of Lakewood, again, will be closed, and two-way traffic is going to shift over to the southbound lanes, as you can see in the drawing up top. Residents who need to access the library and businesses in the area will enter Lakewood Drive from Bird Street and travel northbound. And this work's going to continue for approximately 4 weeks. So our residents who are entering and exiting through there, we just ask that they keep a vigilant eye out for the construction. If you can avoid it, avoid Lakewood Drive completely. And then just a reminder that during Christmas break, when the kids are on Christmas break from school, that's when the contractor will repair Heather in Lakewood. They've completed the relocation of the water line that was in conflict. And again, that will take place then. And then hopefully it'll be smooth sailing through the end of the project. I find the contractor's doing a pretty good job of moving the project along. And we look forward to that project being complete. We do also have some good news. Louisiana Watershed Initiative has awarded St. Charles Parish $15 million for St. Rose drainage projects. And in November, I met with members of the St. Rose community to present the drainage master plans and discuss community concerns. When you look at the St. Rose watershed, in fact, you see two up here. This is just two of the many watersheds that they have. There's a watershed called St. Rose. There's a watershed called Bar None. There are several individual watersheds that are separate from each other that make up the total St. Rose area drainage. And with that comes a big price tag because each one of those watersheds has at least one pump station, and they end up converging on larger pump stations as they're pumped out. But we're looking at $5,770,000 for the Fairfield Oakland pump station upgrade, and that will be upsizing two pumps from 25 CFS to 100 CFS, and then another pump from 67 to 150 CFS in that area. And that area does have some repeated flooding. So when we looked at this application, we did look at the areas in St. Rose that had some more repetitive flooding issues. We do have $825,000 of capital outlay already that has been awarded for the Fairfield and Oakland project. And if you look, we are also doing the Turtle Pond upstation upgrades. They allocated $9.2 million, which is the full request or the full project cost of that project for upsizing a pump from 86 CFS to 240 cubic feet per second. And again, in an area that suffered repeated flooding. So we were excited to see that. The process is just beginning. We'll have to do our engineering and do all of the other requirements of the grant, but always great when you can have a large chunk of your projects or 100% of your projects paid for. I will also mention that in Region 8, we were the only people awarded, and they only had $15 million to dole out, and all $15 million of that came to St. Charles Parish. And we were in competition with the East Bank of Jefferson, of New Orleans, and a couple other parishes for that money. So going on, Senior Christmas Luncheon. Our annual Senior Christmas Luncheon will be held Thursday, December 7th from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the Edward A. Dufresne Community Center. We're going to have a festive lunch with photos. There'll be photos with Santa, entertainment. Our residents, as has been the tradition, will receive a gift certificate for a turkey. Due to the overwhelming attendance last year, this event will be capped at 550 people, and there will be no seat saving, unfortunately. So it will be first come, first service. 550 is the capacity of the gym. We cannot seat any more people than that. So we look forward to our seniors getting there, and I know they'll get there early. Our toy and gift event, as Ms. Jeannie said, is going to be on December 16th from 9 to 1 p.m. at the Community Center. Every St. Charles Parish resident from ages 0 to 16 is eligible to come and get a gift. This event used to be, it really used to be, I guess, pared down for students who were at risk. We worked with the school systems, the sponsors worked with the school systems to identify children who were in need. But because of overwhelming support of the event, as well as the addition of Toys for Tots, partnering with them, this event has grown and they're able to open it up to everybody. So we hope that our residents will join us on December 16th from 9 to 1 p.m. As Ms. Jeannie said, there is no East Bank, West Bank, nothing to do with what letter your last name starts. So just come and have a good time and let your child pick out a gift. And this, as a final note, for the sales tax update, sales taxes for the month of October are up 10.64% over October of 2022, which is great news. And we are still up 4.99% year over year. So all great news on that front. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, President Jewell. Ms. Fonseca.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would just like to thank the administration. The Grants Office, I'm sure, was heavily involved in this for all the work that you did to secure this funding. It's not a small endeavor, I know. This is huge for the St. Rose area and for our parish, so thank you very much.
We appreciate that, and that'll be, once secured, total LWI to date would be $21 million.
Ms. Gordon.
Yes, thank you. I guess I'm just going to be asking a question for the residents of Hornville. Once they hear about the award for St. Rose to $15 million, I know we're going to get questions in reference to River Park, King and Horn, and Bamboo. So I guess I just need an update on it, because we're going to get. I'm going to get some questions in reference to these streets and the monies that was allocated to St. Rose before the District 1 Hornville.
Sure, I'll answer that. The difference is that your projects are farther along than these projects. These projects have not been designed yet. Obviously, we have a drainage study that shows where the need needs to be, but the Public Works Department, along with an engineer, need to scope and drill down on the exact areas we need to go to. Your project, especially King and Horn, I think is probably over 60% design. As we mentioned at the last meeting, because of and I think we probably made a dedication, because of the new property owner that abuts Horn Street and King Street, we're actually able to save up to $2 million on the project that you're doing. So the fact of the matter is, the money that you have worked hard to get in your budget in previous years is still there, and that money is going to be able to go further in Hornville because of the work that you have done, the work we have done. There is some property acquisition that is still having to take place for both King and Horn and Bamboo, but we are actively working on that. and we will take care of getting that property, whatever means necessary.
Ms. Belloc.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Matt, I just wanted to say thank you so much for this Louisiana Watershed Initiative. I know our residents in St. Rose greatly appreciates it, especially the ones who showed up to our town hall meeting, so who live in Fairfield. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, President Jewell. Moving to ordinances, resolutions introduced for publication and public hearing. Item number Monday, December 18th, 2023, 6 p.m., Council Chambers Courthouse in Hahnville. Item number 2023-0341, 2023-0343, 2023-0344, and 2023-0345. Planning and zoning petitions. Item number 2023-0314, an ordinance to amend the St. Charles Parish zoning ordinance of 1981 to change the zoning classification from OL to M2 on approximately 317 acres across portions of lots B1, A, and parcels H3 and L3, Kelowna, as requested by Louis Altamont and Harry R. Coleman III for C3C Riverside Properties, LLC. Mr. Albert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This request basically seeks to reverse a 2010 request that changed the property to open land in order to option in a borrow pit as a special use permit. If the provisions at the time had allowed for that to have been conditioned, it may have been asked for at that point. It was not. So the applicant's looking to reverse the actual rezoning that was done. The staff recommended denial on this. They were bound by review criteria that was different from what was done in 2010. The commission, however, recommended approval. And actually, that's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Albert. File number 2023-0314 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Louis Altamall, 13919 River Road here in Luling, representing the applicant 3C Riverside Properties, LLC. As Mr. Albert just mentioned, this is essentially a reversal of what was done after Hurricane Katrina. There was a huge need for fill materials, so the applicant voluntarily reduced or lowered the zoning classification from M2, which is what the surrounding area is zoned, down to OL so that they could excavate the fill material to satisfy the demand by the Corps of Engineers. Now that all of that has been satisfied, the applicant is simply wanting to put the property back to the M2 zoning district that existed before, because again, all the area around it is M2. The property has been on the market as a potential industrial site for a number of years, and because of that voluntary rezoning down to OL, there's a wedge or a section of property that's now OL surrounded by M2. So it kind of creates a conflict within the area that's needed for this industrial potential development. There is no development on the table. There's no deal that this is dependent upon. It's just a planning process or planning step to put the property back in an M2 zone that was before. As Mr. Albert mentioned, the application did not meet the criteria of being in compliance with the master plan future use, but that's because the master plan changed the intended use of this property to wetlands after Hurricane Katrina. Before that, the applicant had voluntarily taken 1,200 acres of dry land and converted it to wetlands as a mitigation bank. So this particular section of the parish has an abundance of wetlands besides the natural swamp area that's around it. But basically from the southwest side of the railroad tracks going towards 3127 and towards the jail, there's 1,200 acres of voluntarily created wetlands. So I think the need for wetlands has been more than satisfied by what the landowner has done on his own initiative. And I'd also like to mention that over the course of the years, there's been 5 separate donations by this landowner to the town of Kelowna for parks, community center, cemetery, parking, church building, the applicant's been very generous to the town of Kelowna. So I'd appreciate your support on this.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. File number 2023-0314 is now open for public hearing. I did that already. Is there anyone else who'd like to comment? Is there any public hearing is now closed. Is there any council discussion? Ms. Cormier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Michael, you mentioned, since 2010, of course, there have been several changes to the code. Would an M2 with a special use provision for a borrow pit be an option? No? Okay, I thought that's where you were going with that comment.
No, but if this was requested under the previous regulations, we would have recommended approval. It was only one.
Got it.
One criteria was required at the time, now it's two.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Is there any additional? Ms. Gordon?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I'm just asking for the council's support. I haven't heard anything from the residents of Kelowna, so I'm just asking for your support.
Thank you, Ms. Gordon. Any additional council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2023-0314. And that passes unanimously. Okay, ordinance is scheduled for public meeting, introduced at a previous meeting. Item number 2023-0302, an ordinance approving and authorizing the exchange of property located at the Biogosh Park and the Biogosh Fire Department. Mr. Oob.
Yes, we're asking for approval of the act of exchange, which is attached on page 27 of the agenda. As you'll see on the exhibit attached there too, the St. Charles Parish owns property adjacent to Forest Drive. The Bayou Gauche Fire Department owns property behind their building, which is actually adjacent to a St. Charles Parish Park. So in order to accommodate the Bayou Gauche Fire Department, in order for the parish to gain more access to its park, which actually has some of the dugouts, and we're actually using it now, we need to do an active exchange. Per the property appraisals, our property was $2,349.37 more. So Bayou Gauche Fire Department has agreed to cut the parish a check for that difference, making the exchange of valuation equal. So we ask for your support in this matter to get this property exchange and allow the parish president to execute the active exchange attached on page 27.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Oob. File number 2023-0302 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You'll have 3 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. Ronnie Jacob. I'm the president and the captain with the Bayou Gauche Volunteer Fire Department. And good evening to the council and parish president. We asking for support on this. We have a master plan for our property and the station. And right now, with the way it's situated with the encroachment and the property strip along the north side of our station, it questions what we want to do in the future. So a positive vote here would help us continue to move forward. So just asking for your support. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jacob. Is there any additional comments from the public? Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Any council discussion? Mr. Jewell.
Thank you, Chairwoman. I just appreciate everybody's support on this. I've been working with multiple fire chiefs, I feel like, since I came into office on this, and even before I came into office. If you look at the road that leads into the fire department in Bayou Gauche, the strip that you see on your map here in red is essentially undeveloped in between the road and their department. And so this gives them the ability to expand and make their parking situation better. But it also cleans up our map because, like Mr. Oob said, part of our park is sitting on the fire department's property. So this really cleans up everything as far as the fire department goes, as far as the parish goes with where the lines are situated, and I think it's better for everyone. So appreciate everybody's support.
Thank you, President Jewell. Is there any additional council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2023-0302. That passes unanimously. Item number 2023-0318, an ordinance to rescind ordinance number 90-12-16 which approved and authorized the adjustment of the annual compensation of the President of St. Charles Parish, and ordinance number 98-11-1, which approved and authorized the adjustment of the annual compensation of the members of the St. Charles Parish Council effective January 10, year 2000. Ms. Fonseca.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So what this ordinance is doing is reversing the former ways that the parish president's salary was increased on an annual basis, as well as the council salaries were increased on an annual basis, which was done according to the then charter rule. Now that the voters have approved the new charter amendments, we must go in and rescind these ordinances so there's no duplication of the increases. So I'd appreciate all of your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fonseca. File number 2023-0318 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to come forward and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Is there any council discussion? All right. Please cast your votes for file number 2023-0318. And that passes with Ms. Fisher-Cormier voting nay. File number 2023-0319, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of Amendment Number 1 to Ordinance Number 22-4-2, which approved the professional services agreement with Stewart Consulting Group Incorporated for the Ormond Center Drainage Improvements, Project Number P190505, in the not-to-exceed amount of $171,763. Mr. Bingham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a very tricky little project, been going on since about 2019. It started with a service looking at this drainage that crosses the Ormond Center. We came up with another idea that was going to reroute it around it. We actually did a new contract on that, and then we had an incident where part of the old system collapsed, and we needed to reconsider what we were doing. So we are back to the original project where we could go through the Ormond Center with the drainage system. And what we are voting on now, we've done a lot of initial work on this already, is the final design, bidding, and construction of this project, which we would like to get going as quickly as possible. We had a lot of things that we needed to take care of to make sure that we had a process that would work for everyone involved. So I'd appreciate your approval of this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bingham. File number 2023-0319 is now open for public comment. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, Walter Pillier, Duquette Drive, Industrian. This is the district I'm in. I followed this over the years, and Mr. Bingham is right. It's been looked at since about 2019 with CCTV services and some other potential rerouting about a year and a half, maybe ago. I don't know exactly what the structural failure is. People have asked me, I don't know. I've tried to find out. It'd be nice if we could at least point that out when you drive into the center. You don't see anything, so it's obviously underneath the structure. The other part, though, I think this contract includes the weir over there on Ormond, going underneath Ormond Boulevard that controls the lake volume. I don't know if you'd mentioned that. Is that still part of this?
Is that still part of this?
Okay. Yes. The south. It's actually the south weir, which is the one that's near the clubhouse.
By Lake One, yes.
Yes, and that is still part of the original contract, so that's separate from what we're doing here. This is only for the part going under the Ormond Center. And to answer his other question, since I've got the microphone, the failure was in the main road as you go through the Ormond Center. There was a collapse of the culvert that goes under that road. We've fenced that all off and kept it fenced off for quite a while right now, as we studied how to fix this, because this was a major repair. So we are ready to move forward with that, and we would like to get it done as quickly as possible.
And if you look at both ends of the culvert, that going in from it used to be a canal, and they choked it down to some culverts years ago when they built the center, and then coming out over there by US 61, it's in bad shape, seriously bad shape. So I can believe that it needs to be done. And so therefore I support it. I just need to feel comfortable that if somebody asks me a question, I can try to answer it. Thank you very much for your help.
Thank you, Mr. Pilier. Is there any additional public discussion? Seeing none, is there any council discussion? Or public hearing is now closed. Is there any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2023-0319. And that passes unanimously. Item number 2023-0323, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with Crescent Engineering and Mapping, LLC, to perform surveying services for the Crescent Engineering Boundary Surveys Master Contract, project number P231101, and the not-to-exceed amount of $150,000. Mr. Bingham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a task order-related contract, so it's a master contract where we can issue task orders off of it. As we've gone forward with a lot of the projects that we're doing now, we see that we need either right-of-way acquisition or a servitude acquisition, and all of those require that we do a survey to define the piece of property that that we need as a servitude or as a right-of-way. And this will allow us to do that much more efficiently. This company has done a lot of good work for us in this area, and we would like to continue to use them, and we'd appreciate your support.
Thank you, Mr. Bingham. Item number 2023-0323 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Is there any council discussion? Mr. Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Miles, is this just like a retainer fee? And then it'll be like when you give them a job, they'll bid on it?
This is like an upset limit, and so when we issue a task order,
Okay.
it'll have an amount and the services required, and we will just bill it against this amount.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any additional council discussion? All right, seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2023-0323. And that passes unanimously. Item number 2023-0324, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of an agreement for the adjudicated and/or land bank property sale services with Arshon Information Systems, LLC, doing business as Civic Source, to provide marketing services and to conduct multi-property real estate auctions of adjudicated properties. Mr. Albert.
Thank you, ma'am. This is actually a pretty positive program that we've maintained over the years. So this is a renewal of the contract. What we use this service for is auctioning off properties that have been adjudicated for more than 5 years to the parish. This is a program the state started following Katrina. It's been very positive for St. Charles Parish in general. Parish has recouped several $100,000 in taxes through the sale of these properties. We've had buildings built on them. You've had applicants come up to this council with requests on properties that they've purchased. You'll have a fee schedule that's shown as part of this. I want to note that that is not fees that the parish is incurring. This is what the purchaser pays to clear the title and do all of the work. Anything over that price as a result of the bidding on the property comes back to the parish as profit. So we appreciate your support in continuing this program. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Albert. File number 2023-0324 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Ms. Cluley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If, for adjudicated properties that aren't worth $5,000, do those just sit on the books because I think their minimum is like $5,000?
Well, no. All of the properties that we deem as eligible, because when we first look at them, like on a yearly basis, we might go through, and if there's a continuing public interest, we'll set it aside. Once they're declared eligible to be listed on the site, they just go up there. There's no work done on those until someone is actually interested in a purchase. Okay. Once someone is interested in starting the auction process, they put down a deposit, which starts Civic Source preparing the work, okay? If that work is completed, then what you're seeing in that list of fees and everything is the work to complete the title research and everything else. So it has nothing to do with what the property is worth. That's just the cost of the work to get it to auction.
So there's no minimum cost?
No, effectively the bidding starts at zero plus the cost of the title work.
Okay, so the cost, there's no minimum cost?
To the property.
No, for Civic Source. Like, do they charge like a minimum of $5,000 or?
I mean, technically, I
what
guess
if the
the
title is fairly
minimum would be
simple?
$850. I think that's what the deposit
minimum
is.
is
So if they put that up and then the person that paid that deposit fails to actually bid on the property, they just forfeit that.
That $850?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any additional council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote for file number 2023-0324. And that passes with Mary Cluley voting nay. Item number 2023-0325, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of change order number 1 and final for AMA Drainage Improvement Rebid Project number P150801-2 to increase the contract amount by $80,971.85 and increase the contract time by 218 days. Mr. Bingham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is the final change order for the AMA pump station improvements. I think the big thing here is the 218 days. A lot of that was due to Entergy running their new line back to the station. That happened, Ida took out a lot of our system, and they wanted to make sure that this system was revitalized and strengthened. So they improved that line going back there. They had to order a lot of new poles and so forth. So that did take a little bit of time, and it slowed down us being able to get the station up and running. So we'd appreciate your approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bingham. File number 2023-0325 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Is there any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2023-0325. And that passes unanimously. Item number 2023-0326, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a cooperative endeavor agreement between Bungie, Chevron, AG Renewables, LLC, and St. Charles Parish relative to the design, development, construction, expansion, and/or extension of Noel Street from Lorraine Street to Jonathan Street, quote, the project. Mr. Albert.
I'm going to start with a cursory explanation of this and tie it a little bit to the revocation request that comes later on. There's a page 113 that has a map on it showing the extent of the revocation request. This CEA establishes an agreement that allows St. Charles Parish to have an access easement along a potentially revocated Jonathan Street and allows for an agreement to construct the Noel Street extension, which would exist at the end of Lorraine Street and continue through the existing paper street of Noel, reestablishing a formal dedicated access. Okay. The administration is going to request to table this at this time.
Right. Do we need public hearing before that?
It's up to motion of the council. It's a motion to table.
There has been a request to table. I need a motion and a second. I have a motion by Ms. Cluley and a second by Ms. Fonseca. Please cast your vote to table item number 2023-0326. And that passes unanimously. Okay. Item number 2023-0327, an ordinance approving and authorizing execution of a cancellation of lease and active conveyance of certain piece of property with Hospital Service District Number 1 of the St. Charles Parish, State of Louisiana, for the improvements located thereon at 145 Angus Drive in Louisiana, Luling.
Good afternoon, Robert Raymond on behalf of the Legal Department. What we're asking the council to consider and pass favorably tonight is two parts here: a cancellation of a lease between the Hospital Service District and initially the Parish Police Jury back in 1979. At that time, St. Charles Parish entered a lease with the Hospital District for property to build the Senior Citizen Center. Since that time, we have built a new Senior Citizen Center has been built on Judge Edward Dufresne Parkway. The one that exists now is no longer needed. The parish and the hospital want to cancel the lease, and the parish will sell, if approved, the improvements only, the building itself, to the Hospital Service District for $170,000, which is the appraised value. So we'd ask that you consider this and act favorably on it.
Thank you, Mr. Raymond. File number 2023-0327 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You'll have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Keith Dacus, 1057 Palm Island Boulevard. Parish Council, thank you all very much. I'd just like to ask for your support in this. As the hospital continues to grow and expand services, this land is at a premium, certainly for the hospital. And so just ask for y'all's support in this ordinance, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dacus. Is there any additional public discussion? Seeing none, any council discussion? Ms. Cluley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This property has served the Council on Aging well, and now that they've moved on to a new location, the property is owned by the hospital, and it's fair to say that they do need the extra office space. But I would like to make a change in the wording, amend it. The fourth whereas, at the end of that, I'd like to add the improvements located thereon to Hospital Service District Number 1 of Parish of St. Charles for the appraised value of $170,000. And then under Section 2, where it says basically the same thing, Hospital Service District Number 1 of Parish of St. Charles, State of Louisiana is hereby approved and accepted for the sum of $170,000, value based on appraisal.
Okay, so we have a motion to amend item number 2023-0327 to read, whereas it is the desire of the parties to lease to cancel parties to the lease to cancel the lease and to convey the improvements located thereon at Hospital Service District Number 1 of the Parish of St. Charles for the appraised value of the improvements. And Section 2, that the act of conveyance for the improvements located at 145 Angus Drive, Luling, Louisiana, by and between St. Charles Parish and the Hospital Service District Number 1 of the Parish of St. Charles, State of Louisiana, is hereby approved and accepted for the sum of $170,000 based on appraisal. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So I need a motion, and you have the motion. I need a second, and I have a second by Ms. Fonseca. We need a vote to accept the revised version of item number 2023-0327. And that passes unanimously. Okay. Item number 2023-0327. Please cast your votes to pass the revised version of file number 2023-0327. We have to open it for public hearing one more time. Okay, file number 2023-0327 is now open for public hearing to accept the revised version of item number 2023-0327. Now from public comment. Anyone need to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Seeing none, is there any additional council discussion for this? Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion. Please cast your votes for file number 2023-0327 as revised. And that passes unanimously. Okay. Item number 2023-0328. An ordinance to revoke and abandon Modoc Street and portions of Jonathan Street, Pelican Street, Amay Street, and Jean Street, Desterhan Park, and Gabriel Heights subdivision, as shown on the map by Michael P. Blanchard, PLS, signed and dated October 24th, 2023. Mr. Oob.
In conjunction with the tabling of 2023-0326, the administration requests that 2023-0328 be tabled at this time.
Okay. We have a request for it to be tabled. I have a motion by Ms. Cluley and a second by Ms. Fonseca. Please cast your votes to table item number 2023-0328. And that passes unanimously. Okay, moving to ordinances, resolutions, which have been tabled. Does anyone have an item they'd like to, a file they'd like to remove from the table? Ms. Cormier.
Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to remove item 2023-0321 from the table and a concurrent motion to postpone it indefinitely, which shouldn't cause any discussion necessary, just an attempt to make some bookkeeping things look like the other resolution that we did the same action with last time. So just want to completely remove it from the record rather than having it tabled. Want to postpone indefinitely. So two motions in one.
Okay.
Motion to remove from the table and motion to postpone indefinitely at the same time.
Okay, so we have a motion to remove item number 2023-0321 from the table and postpone indefinitely. A motion by Ms. Cormier and a second by Ms. Gordon. Please cast your vote to remove from the table and
postpone
indefinitely. All right. I need a motion and a second. We got it. All right, let's vote. Please cast your votes. And that passes unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Cormier. Okay, now, persons to address the council. Item number 2023-0342. Ms. Rianda Pierre, regarding waiver. Good evening, Ms. Pierre. You will have 5 minutes.
Good evening. How are you guys this evening? I understand that you guys don't have to answer a single question that I ask. However, I'm here again to discuss a waiver for a building that I acquired in 2020 during the pandemic, and I will keep coming back until it's granted. As you can see from tonight, I have my hands full. And in 2020, this building that I acquired on Highway 90 was abandoned. It was overgrown, and so many people passed by the old Whitney Bank and imagine what they can do with the building. I acquired the building as a retreat, as an escape, because I needed somewhere that I can run to and to focus on rebuilding my life and my business. I applied for a change of occupancy, and I was granted a change of occupancy. On April 9th, 2021, I filed to open the Louisiana Business Center with the Secretary of State because I wanted to create a one-stop shop for small businesses to come to. I had an idea that it would be a co-networking space where small businesses can come and work together and open up businesses where people wouldn't have to have suppers out of their house or apply for home offices, but they can use a commercial kitchen and then they can serve the community. It was always going to be a place to help and to benefit the community. In September of 2022, I applied to open up a restaurant. It was never going to be a bar or a lounge, and I understand that the confusion came in March of 2023 when we held private events at the hall, because I did birthday parties, bridal showers, small events, and we never had an issue. But a partner that I had went to planning and zoning and described it as a bar and a lounge. I applied with planning and zoning, I'm going to back up, in July of 2022 to open up Pepe Snowballs, P-E-P-E, for my 4 children. So that's why I needed a commercial kitchen. I went to the fire marshal to make sure that we were in compliance. I went to the Department of Health to make sure that everything was necessary in order for me to get my permits as a restaurant. And when I went back to apply in June of this year with planning and zoning, I was told that I would never be permitted as a bar or lounge, which I never could be because my kids need to be present, and that I needed to be more than 500 feet away from the public library. I asked them how many feet I was away from the library, and I was told 470 feet. And I said, great, because it was never a bar, it was a restaurant, and according to your ordinances, I need to be 300 feet away from the library. So therefore, my application for a restaurant is what I'm submitting. At that moment, they told me I needed my permits from Department of Health, Fire Marshal, and I submitted them. They asked how I got them. I said because I was going to be a snowball. But while I was there, I asked about what I would need to be a restaurant, and they granted me both. They made an error and put bar and lounge on there. I didn't know. When I called them back after that meeting, they told me that they needed to have that language on there because it distinguished between a restaurant that didn't sell alcohol and one that did. That was my understanding, my only understanding of it. When I went back to apply on the last day of my permit, June 30th of 2023, I was denied my permit for a restaurant with my application with planning and zoning because of the bar lounge language. They told me that I needed to request a waiver from the council. My questions to you, whether you answer or not, is I need transparency. I need to know what is the process to grant a waiver. I need to know what waivers are granted and to whom within how many feet of a public facility. Because for me, this process has taken a very long time and is hurting me financially. And it's unclear. Because if I have everything that I need and I'm within or over the 300 feet, then the process keeps changing. I request an additional minute.
There's been a request for additional time. I need a motion and a second is needed. I have a motion by Ms. Cormier and a second by Ms. Fonseca. Please cast your vote to extend the time. And that passes. You have additional 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. My question is, I want to do things the right way. I want to make sure that when we open, that we have everything that we need. Unfortunately, I don't know what the timetable is to receive permits. When you do provide the necessary requirements, I know that when I went back a second time, I was given an additional form that I wasn't given the first time. And I asked, is this something new? Or is this something that I just wasn't given before? And I was told, well, it is a new document and we are using this to streamline it. It's been difficult. We hear of small businesses not wanting to come to St. Charles Parish because they don't understand the process. I would say, well learned, and I learned quickly, and I'm not sure of the process or the transparency in how I can open up a restaurant in a location in St. Charles Parish. So is there a place where I can go to find out what waivers the council has granted for locations that are within 500 feet of a public space, a library or a church, or 300 feet of those locations that are permitted to serve or to sell alcohol? And if so, if anyone knows, can let me know. If Mr. Albert, I know he's here, if he can let me know, I'll gladly resubmit my application for a permit. But the reason why I haven't is because, like Ms. Cormier mentioned the last time I was here, was that even for Food Truck Village, those requirements have changed, since we first started to. So I just would like to know when the requirements change, how are they changed, are they voted upon, and for whom are allowed to operate and permit. And I thank you so much again for your time, for your consideration, and again, I just would like to open and get started. Lastly, I would like to thank Mr. Khalil Turner for his write-up in the Herald Guide publicly. He did a wonderful job, and I just wanted to say thank you to him and everyone else that came out and supported the Luling Food Truck Village. Thank you.
Thank you, Rianda. Ms. Cormier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have comments, questions. Some can be dialogue, some I guess I'll go ahead and get it all out. So last time you were here, as you mentioned, I asked what your next step was to be operational. And I believe it was, I'll be coming to you guys for a waiver of some sort to become operational. And now, in front of us today, you submitted some attachments, and we're looking at photos of the actual operation happening. I guess. I'm a bit confused as to how we have actual photos of what's already happening when we haven't actually made any decisions on this. So first, I'll just voice my confusion. And I think I'm quite transparent in how we do things. I always like to ask the what-ifs as a council person. So you mentioned that you asked a lot of questions of planning and zoning. Have you formally requested, you spelled out exactly what you want. You want to know which scenarios and which properties and when and how, when and where and how. Have you formally requested that through public records request?
Not through public records, so
okay,
I can do that.
You absolutely have that ability, and if you're more specific, the more information you're going to get.
Thank you.
Of course, because that's not something that I think any of us know offhand, especially, going back to the beginning of time. I don't know how long you want to go back on that, but that's definitely something you can do. So you mentioned two things tonight. You said a permit for a restaurant is what I'm submitting. And I think a lot of the confusion is that, again, you started as one thing, then there was, we've all been made aware of some other events that maybe didn't look like a snowball stand. So you will be submitting a permit for a restaurant? Is that accurate to say? And a restaurant that does or does not sell alcohol? Because that seems...
I have submitted a permit request for a restaurant in June of 2023.
So June of 2023, you submitted for a permit for a restaurant?
Yes.
With or without alcohol?
With.
With.
Yes.
Okay. So we didn't know that last time you came.
No,
Okay, so we need transparency too.
I
Okay.
agree.
And then secondly, tonight, you also mentioned when we open, you said those words, when we open, but again, we have pictures of it operational currently. So I'm really confused. I'm really confused. And again, I want everybody to have same opportunity. I want everybody to be successful. We want properties to go back into commerce and have activity and have things to offer to residents. But, you know, everybody's got to be subject to the same rules. And I understand you're trying to figure out what they
Absolutely.
are.
Yes.
So I'm trying to understand how we can be looking at pictures of an operational facility.
Can I answer the question?
Sure.
The pictures that you were looking at are of other small businesses that I allowed to operate there. So it's a partnership. So it was always the same from the beginning, although it looks different. Like I said, it's the Louisiana Business Center. So it's a co-networking space. It allows small businesses, whether you're a travel agency, a real estate office, a financial planning company, you can lease space within the facility to have conferences and meetings. And for me, I was looking for a place to meet with people and not have to go to the library or to PJ's. So this offers a professional building where you can come and meet with clients. But also we have a kitchen to where instead of people selling plates from their home, then I was like, okay, well, you can come to the business center and you can serve food. Whereas if we were having a meeting, training, then we could also support the small businesses and purchase food from them. But what ended up happening, I was ordering or getting the food catered to the location, and I was like, okay, well, instead of getting it catered, why don't I just open up a restaurant and keep it in-house for me as well? So with the kids being there, I was like, okay, we had a snowball stand in 2009 on Highway 90. I had the equipment. Let's do a snowball stand. So that's what I started off with, and that's why I did my permit. And while we were doing that, then everything just kind of expanded to it being a full restaurant. I got a partner, and we kind of merged.
So the photos we're looking at are food that's coming out of that kitchen?
No,
No.
it's food that's coming off of food trucks.
Okay. So I mentioned that we do have a process for those food trucks.
Correct.
And
And
so,
they all are following that process.
yeah,
So more transparency.
yeah.
The food trucks that come there, we make sure that they have their certificates, their safe serve, state, local permits. However, some of the food trucks have gone to the planning and zoning's office and given them our address, and they've been told that they can serve from their own house and they didn't have to set up at our location. If it was just one, it wouldn't be said. It's been multiple food trucks. So when you mentioned it last week that the process has changed, the other food trucks that have come have also told me of the difficulty that they've had to be located on our location, to the extent that they have been inspected, even after they were inspected there, re-inspected.
I think we're straying a little bit from kind of where we're going.
So
with
what I'm
this.
saying is the pictures that you see are not from our restaurant. It's from
The food
small
trucks
business
that are
food trucks.
operating on the, on the
Yes.
grounds. So, I mean, we were part of the new food truck ordinance, and, we did say that it may be a living, breathing document that we need to change and take a look at. From what I understand, those I've talked to, it's worked pretty well. The only real sticking point is that food truck has got to move every day. It can't live there, because then it's considered permanent location. So a food truck, the whole purpose is to be mobile, right? So that was one of the requirements we had as one of the sticking points. So I don't
When
know
was
if
that
that's the
ordinance?
issue.
Do you remember when that ordinance?
And it was after Hurricane Ida, because that was when we had an influx of them coming to the parish, and we felt like we had to have some sort of continuity. So you might want to look that one up. Oh, we did. We followed state law, though, but we put it in our code.
So they haven't had any food trucks that have come since Hurricane Ida that have been stationary on location?
I can't answer that question.
I can.
Well,
I understand.
Yeah, but there is an ordinance, and I do remember, but again, if we have a recurring issue with the ordinance, maybe that is something we do need to talk about. Because again, we did something kind of new, but again, like Matt said, we've got to follow state law as well. So, this is all, I understand this seems complicated, but I think part of the issue is, the change in scope since 2022 has maybe been, I don't know, misleading even, or confusing. So I hope that we're clear today. You will, or you have put a permit in for a restaurant with alcohol.
Yes.
And have you requested a waiver of the council?
Formally?
I mean, we can't do anything informally with the parish council.
If that's the only thing that I need to do to request a waiver from the council, then I can do so before your next council meeting.
I mean,
If
it's
that's
not
the
going to
next
come
step.
before the council if you don't request it formally.
I get it.
Okay. Well,
If that's the process, I'll look into it, yes.
again, planning and zoning can guide you there, but it's not going to make it here if nothing's requested. So, okay, well, I think maybe the issue is, the focus has changed so much, and
I'll
I
also
think you need
state-
some clarity on.
I was requested
Hold on just a
from-
second.
I'm
You need
sorry.
some clarity on what your path forward is, like your plan, your business plan, in my opinion.
To answer that question, I was requested by Mr. Albert for an exact outline of that plan moving forward in detail of everything that we will want to do. That was it was right after the groundbreaking for the Paul Mallett revitalization. So whenever that was, it was submitted then. Everything in writing, clarified.
Okay. Well, good, you're a step ahead. Again, I was a little taken aback when I saw the article in the newspaper, knowing that the last time you were here, you asked that you would be submitting things, and then I saw something about it happening, and I thought, well,
Two different things.
that's part of why it's confusing. So, good luck to you, and I would continue to communicate with Mr. Albert. He's a very transparent director.
Yes.
Truly. So, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gordon.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Pierre, I think when you're in conversation with planning and zoning, to actually be more open, since you were stating that you're going back and forth, to be more open with your process as in what's going on, because you don't want to submit paperwork and then 2 weeks later you change your mind or something may happen in planning and zoning. So just make sure that you're open with the process, so you won't have to continue coming back and forth to the council meeting to address us. Just make sure that you're being open with them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pierre.
Thank you.
Next up, we have appointments. Item number 2023-0336, to accept the resignation of Ms. Michelle DeBrouillet for St. Charles Parish Planning and Zoning Commission District 7 Representative. Please cast your votes to accept the resignation of Ms. Michelle DeBrouillet on the St. Charles Parish Planning and Zoning Commission District 7 Representative. That passes unanimously. Item number 2023-0337, a resolution appointing a member to the St. Charles Parish Planning and Zoning Commission as District 7 representative. The council chair will accept nominations from District 7 council member to fill the vacancy caused by the resignation of the term of Ms. Michelle DeBrouillet, an expired term to begin immediately and expire May 31st, 2026. Do I have a nomination, Ms. Cormier?
Thank you, Madam Chair. As per request of Council-elect District 7, I'd like to nominate Richard False, please.
Say that again, Richard?
Richard False, F-O-L-S-E. Motion to close nominations as well.
Okay, motion and a second. Motion by Ms. Cormier, second by Ms. Cluley to close nominations. Please cast your votes to close nominations. That passes unanimously. And to be clear, Richard False was nominated to serve the unexpired term to begin immediately and expire May 31st, 2026. Item number 2023-0339, accept the resignation of Mr. Ernest Yuza, St. Charles Parish Board of Adjustment District 4 representative. Please cast your vote to to accept the resignation of Mr. Ernest Uze, sorry, very sorry, on the St. Charles Parish Board of Adjustment, District 4 Representative. And that passes unanimously. Item number 2023-0340, a resolution appointing a member to the St. Charles Parish Board of Adjustment as the District 4 representative. Council Chair will accept nominations from the District 4 council member to fill the vacancy caused by the resignation of the term of Mr. Ernest Uze, unexpired term to begin December 23rd, 2023, and expire December 7th, 2025. So Mr. Dufresne is out tonight, so deferred. Oh, Ms. Cormier.
Madam Chair, if the council would so oblige, per the request of Councilman Dufresne as well as Councilman-elect Commerdale, they've asked for your consideration of Clyde Maddox, Maddox.
Clyde Maddox is the nomination. Okay, motion and a second is needed to close nominations. I have a motion by Ms. Cormier and a second by Ms. Cluley. Please cast your vote to close nominations. And that passes unanimously. Next, we have meetings, announcements, notices, etc. Meetings, Lafourche Basin Levy District, Wednesday, December 6th, 2023, 6 p.m. Lafourche Basin Levy District Office, 21380, Highway 20, Vacherie. Planning and Zoning Commission on Thursday, December 7th, 2023, 6 p.m., Council Chambers. Communications District 911 on Monday, December 11th, 2023, 5 p.m., Council Chambers. Civil Service Board on Tuesday, December 12th, 2023, 6:30 p.m., Council Chambers. Community Action Advisory Board on Wednesday, December 13th, 2023, 5 p.m., Community Service Offices, 14564, Highway 48, New Sarpy. Pontchartrain Levy District on Monday, December 18th, 2023, 6 p.m., Pontchartrain Levy District Headquarters Complex at 2069 Railroad Avenue in Lutcher. St. Charles Parish Council meeting on Monday, December 18th, 2023, at 6 p.m., Council Chambers. An announcement, there will be a Christmas tree lighting ceremony on Wednesday, December 6th at 5:30 p.m. at Edward A. Dufresne Community Center in Luling. Now we have special matters to be considered by the council. Is there anyone who would like to amend the parish council meeting schedule? No amendments? Oh, I'm sorry. Mary. Ms. Cluley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The September meeting dates, I'd like to drop them down to a week each, like it would be September 9th and September 23rd instead of September 3rd and the 16th.
Okay, we have a motion to amend the St. Charles Parish Council meeting schedule to the dates of September 9th, 2024 and September 23rd, 2024. I need a motion and a second to approve. A motion by Ms. Cluley, second by Ms. Fonseca. Please cast your votes to amend the Parish Council meeting. Well, we didn't do public comment, did we? All right, we need to open this for public comment. If anyone would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Please cast your votes unless there's any other council discussion to amend item number 2023-0313. To adopt Parish Council meeting amendment of, to the dates of September 9, 2024 and September 23, 2024. And that passes unanimously. Sorry. Unanimously. Item number 2023-0338, executive session, LMB Services LLC and the Parish of St. Charles. A motion and a second are needed to go into executive session. I have a motion by Mr. Fisher and a second by Ms. Fonseca. Please cast your votes to go into executive session. And that passes unanimously. All council members present, Parish President Matthew Jewell, Legal Services Director Corey Oob, and Legal Services Assistant Director a second is needed to return to the regular order of the agenda. A motion by Ms. Cluley and a second by Mr. Fisher. Please cast your votes to return to regular order of the agenda. And that passes unanimously. Okay, adjournment. A motion and a second is needed to adjourn. A motion by Mr. Fisher and second by Ms. Fonseca. Please cast your votes to adjourn. And that passes unanimously. Have a great evening. We are officially adjourned.